Now, we got a action-packed week of wrestling. We got Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton's 20th anniversary. He said he's not going anywhere, not wrestling for any other promotion except the WWE. He will go down just like The Undertaker did. That's awesome. We have a new TNT champion yet again. And we have a new twist that's possibly going to be happening at WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Stay right there, and we're going to get all into it, all right? This is the Wrestling Replay. I'm Cato. Welcome to episode number 5. If you are a returner, you already know what to do. If this is your first time viewing the channel, viewing me here on YouTube, then please go ahead, hit that like and subscribe if you like what you hear by the time the end of this video is over. Alright, we got a nice week of wrestling to get into. We got to talk about WWE first. We're going to talk about AEW. We're going to give a whole rundown of everything that happened during the week. But since Monday Night Raw is first, let's go ahead and start on the WWE side of things. We did get Randy Orton celebrating 20 years inside the WWE. That's pretty huge, man. That's a really huge feat. He already said that he wants to go down just like The Undertaker. He's not going to wrestle for any other promotion except WWE. I gotta be honest, it looks kind of weird if he was to pop up anywhere else, but this whole tag team with him and Matt Riddle, it seemed to have rejuvenated Randy Orton. He looks fresher. He gets to take, a little bit more time off, a little less punishment inside the ring as far as going on those one-on-one matches over and over again, or one-on-one storylines that go for about 2-3 months long. Now he has a partner who, can wrestle the opponent of the other tag team, and he could kind of take a break and just kind of fall back. So I think this has really helped him as far as, one, aging inside of the wrestling business, two, having a little bit more fun and actually being involved in what he's doing and like what he's doing versus being like, this is tedious and feel like I have to go to work. So I think Randy can probably go at this high level for another maybe 2 or 3 more years. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have another singles run eventually. I think he will actually capture the World Championship title one more time before he's actually done. So hats off to Randy for 20 years of being inside the WWE, man. Bianca Belair, she defeats Sonya Deville in a women's Raw title matchup. Of course, I thought that would happen. I don't see Sonya Deville dethroning Bianca Belair at all, but I do like the fact that Sonya Deville is actually back inside the wrestling ring and wrestling, doing what she does best. Veer Mahaan, he destroys Sam Smothers. I like what they're doing with Veer Mahaan. Only problem is you got Veer on one side, you got Omos on the other. I would have really liked Veer to probably go to SmackDown and let Jinder Mahal kind of steer him in whatever direction he wants to be in, or even send him to NXT with Jinder Mahal and he could kind of steer him, since you already let go of Harlan. I mean, hey, there's not too many giants over in NXT right now making noise, but we'll see what's going to happen with Veer going forward. Speaking of Omos, he lost to Bobby Lashley in the arm wrestling matchup, the old classic, who got some more power, the big man or the strong man, whatever. We've seen Tozawa and Tamia defeat Reggie and Dana Brooke. Okay, look, it's about time. This whole 24/7 championship, it was fun, it's entertaining, it's gimmicky, but this whole Tozawa and Tamina teaming up against, Reggie, Dana Brooke, it is getting a little old, man. So they got to find some way to make it fresh. They got to find some way to mix it up. Speaking of fresh, mixing it up, we got to see the return of Asuka. She came out there to pretty much put Becky Lynch on notice and saying, hey, if you need an opponent, to get back in the mix, look no further than me. Nobody's ready for Asuka. I'm happy that Asuka's back. That women's division in WWE is amazing. I'm sorry, that's one thing that they did correctly, is actually build up that women's division, because the talent that they have, from NXT, UK, SmackDown, Raw is top notch. I don't see any promotion touching this women's division right now. And honestly, it's kind of the situation where if you are inside this women's division, you're going to really have to stand out. Like, you're going to have to do something so that the fans remember you, so that you're not swallowed up by all the talent that surrounds you. Steel does sharpen steel, but you also do not want to get left behind. You do not want to be the little fish in the sea with all these sharks. We got to see Damian Priest defeat Finn Balor. I like what's going on over there with Damian Priest and Edge. I think that's pretty dope. I really think they should have a trio and make it a faction, but right now it doesn't appear like they're gonna go that route. We also got to see the return of Mustafa Ali. He defeated Miz in a one-on-one matchup. Mustafa Ali, if this is going to lead to Mustafa Ali possibly getting a return in the run as a singles competitor like he should have gotten a long time ago, like he should have gotten when he first formed his faction and he was running things and he was the leader and he had all this power behind him, he had all the big men behind him, and yet you did nothing, you just let it die. But if this is going to lead to him getting that one-on-one type of run and push that he deserves, I'm all for it, man. In the main event, we got to see RK Bro team up with Cody Rhodes, Ezekiel versus the Usos, Kevin Owens, and Steph freaking Rollins inside an 8-man tag team matchup, man. The Usos, Steph freaking Rollins, and Kevin Owens came up short. They're pretty much building up to the Steph Rollins and Cody Rhodes match, the tag team championship matches that should happen at Backlash, but we got to see a little twist this Friday on SmackDown. Threw a little wrench in the plans when Roman Reigns decided he would throw his power around, right? Instead of having the classic tag team matchup between RK Bro and the Usos to combine those championship titles, what ended up happening is that Roman Reigns wanted to interject himself with the Usos and go ahead and put Drew McIntyre with RK Bro. Now, excuse me. If this happens, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out. If it's not where all titles are on the line, and if this trio wins, they walk away with the titles, and this trio walk away with the titles, I don't know if I like it. I think it really takes away from what's going to happen if the Usos unify the tag team titles by themselves. Look at it like this: if Roman Reigns is the one to get the pin on whoever, RK Bro loses those titles. If he pins Matt Riddle, they lose the tag team titles. The Usos really didn't rightfully beat the tag team champions, so we're probably going to see that match ran back maybe sometime around SummerSlam. Now, what if on the other foot, Drew McIntyre defeats Jimmy Uso, and now Roman Reigns loses his title? Or is it just for the tag team title? So we need a little bit of clarification on what's going to happen, but I don't know. We have to see. It just depends on how they're going to do the championships, what's going to exactly be on the line. That was one of the biggest takeaways from SmackDown. Roman Reigns asserting himself inside that matchup at WrestleMania Backlash. Now, we did go see Drew McIntyre defeat Sami Zayn. It's still cage match with the Claymore. Glad that that's over. We did see Ricochet defeat Shanky. Ricochet needs better matchups as the Intercontinental Champion. He needs to beat guys like Sheamus 101. He needs to beat guys like, Jimmy and Jay 101, Sami Zayn 101. He needs to have more people come over for Monday Night Raw and challenge him for the Intercontinental title, or people from NXT come over and challenge him for the Intercontinental title, because it's going to be hard to build prestige when you're facing guys like Shanky and retaining your title against guys of that caliber. Shanky hasn't really made a name for himself. At least Jinder Mahal was a former world champion, so being Jinder kind of meant a little bit more, but beating Shanky really does nothing. We seen Raquel Rodriguez. She was successful in her first SmackDown matchup. We got to see Naomi. She defeated Shayna Baszler. That's a big win for Naomi. I think, man, if this tag team ends with Sasha Banks and Naomi, I love them with the tag team championships. Don't get me wrong. But if it ends, I think Naomi possibly has put herself in position to actually go and get another chance at holding singles gold. We also got to see Xavier Woods defeat Ridge Holland, Sheamus defeat Kofi, Lacey Evans. She did another promo. They're really rolling Lacey Evans out really heavy right now, really getting the fans behind her. So she's definitely going to come back, I believe, as a babyface. I don't know if she'll turn in the midst of things or what, but the way they're rolling her out is definitely being one that can identify with all the family, everyone who's going to things. blue collar workers, stuff like that. So Lacey should definitely come back as a fan favorite. Ronda Rousey, she defeated Chauncey, and Charlotte Flair defeated Aaliyah, but she failed to defeat Aaliyah within that minute and 41-second mark in the I Quit challenge that Ronda Rousey beat her in. Now, we're going to have to get into some predictions for WWE Backlash, but we'll do that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and jump over to Rampage. Rampage had a great week of wrestling, but I still feel like they missed. I'm sorry, not Rampage. Let's jump into Dynamite. AEW had a great week of wrestling, but I still feel like they just missed on a few points, man. Mainly being that TNT Championship again. We're going to jump into it because that was actually our main event, and we had a lot of great matches on Rampage anyway to talk about. So, first, let's kick it off with Dax and Cash going at it one-on-one in that Owen Hart tournament qualifier matchup. This match was everything I wanted it to be. Me, two things. One, I'm a sucker for a great storyline, and I'm a sucker for a great technical matchup. So these two guys, the story is already written itself. One, huge fans of Owen Hart, right? Respect Owen Hart to the utmost. Two, these guys are like brothers. Tag team matchups, they know each other in and out. They've been a team forever. So in this matchup, you already knew it had to come down to who was going to make the first mistake, who was going to lose their cool, because these guys know what the other one's going to do. So the counters were going to be back and forth, back and forth. This was an amazing matchup, especially to kick off Dynamite. It's kind of set the tone. But I do like the fact that Dax won, and I'm a sucker for roll-ups. That's exactly how you would predict a matchup like this to finish. I would love for Dax to actually go through and win the whole tournament, but we got to see how the brackets fall. I think that's going to really play a big part in things and who actually make it to the finals and actually win, the tournament. I really wish that, we could really have a big joint promotion and put on a great tournament for Owen Hart. Like, he really meant that much. Next matchup, we seen the Blackpool Combat Club go against the Factory. The Factory earned Solo, Nick Camarado, and QT Marshall. I love Nick Camarado, but he's not getting any type of push. I mean, he's just being used to put everyone else over, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. But I feel like he is a great talent that they're kind of using wrong. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he could have been built as someone who would have been really dominant, someone who could have been like a real force and a forcer inside of fashion, like similar to how Wardlow was being used when he was with MJF. I feel like you could have put Nick Camarado behind one of your younger talents and let him be the enforcer to that guy, especially since the whole MJF role is over. Hell, I would have even had MJF hire Nick Camarado and be like, look, I can give you a lot more than what the Factory was offering you, so why don't you come join me, protect me against a guy like Wardlow? But he ended up having the job out to Wardlow anyway. But Wardlow's going to be hot, man. He's red hot right now. He went on to face Lance Archer. One thing I'm happy about, that one, this was a great physical matchup. Two, Lance Archer didn't just lay down for Wardlow. It wasn't like it was with Nick Camarado the week before, where they go do a squash match first, and then Wardlow just run through him. I'm sorry, with the Butcher. It wasn't like with the Butcher just run through a squash match and then Wardlow comes and just run through him. Now, this matchup with Lance Archer, a way, way better matchup. We got to also see a street fight with Sheeta and Serena Deeb. I like the matchup. The match was really good, right? Only thing is this: you have great talent in Sheeta. You have great talent in Serena Deeb. Why aren't you matching them up against Jade? Why aren't you matching them up against your Britt Baker, your Thunder Roses? Like, build this women's division. Even Jamie Hayter, your Toni Storm, like, you have women that has a name already behind them that are great wrestlers. You can use them to help boost up the younger wrestlers or the wrestlers that maybe doesn't have a big name right now. Like Kiera Hogan. You put her with Jade. She's with Red Velvet. Though Jade and Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan can definitely use matches against Serena Deeb. Against Sheeta. That would be great. That would help the Baddies section or the Baddies Club, whatever they want to be called right now, actually, boost their momentum. It'll help boost their prestige as a faction. This is the first female faction that really I feel like everyone is wrestlers, right? We've seen it with Britt Baker. She had a little crew, but it's normally Britt Baker and then maybe a wrestler here and there, or maybe a higher hitman. I feel like they're trying to build this faction to really be like a true unit that, everyone is going to do their part. Maybe they're going to possibly introduce some women's tag team championships. Who knows? But I feel like those women could really help boost other females in the company right now. We also got to see a 10-man tag team matchup with Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and Red Dragon go against Dante Martin, the Varsity Blondes, Lee Johnson, and Brock Anderson. I think the main focus on this matchup was the fact that you had guys like Adam Cole, Red Dragon, and the Young Bucks all trying to get on the same page to pretty much reform that elite type faction, to pretty much let Adam Cole be the head. He's putting two tag teams together, and he's pretty much setting himself up to be the leader, right? Now, if you remember, Kenny Omega, before he left, he kind of told the Young Bucks to hold it down. Adam Cole took that as, I'll do it. Kenny looked at him as if like, what are you talking about? Who is this guy, right? So I think this is going to be a really big build to when Kenny finally does come back. The Bucks are going to end up probably going with Kenny Omega. Red Dragon is probably going to end up going with Adam Cole. And now we're going to have a big inner faction war, kind of like NWO and NWO Red and Black, that kind of situation. But I think this is going to end up happening with the Elite, which it's going to end up being really good matchups because Kenny Omega and Adam Cole, for one, all these guys in these factions can go. Great wrestlers, great talkers, great storylines. So everything that they're going to present to us, we know is going to already be classic. It's going to be a classic in the making. So I'm really looking forward to Kenny Omega coming back, because once that story starts to get rolled out, that's the type of storyline that doesn't even need a championship involved for it to be great and have you invested into it. So I think Kenny Omega is going to be the one to come back and split all that unity that Adam Cole is trying to build right now. He's going to be the one to pretty much, put it into that. Now, we get on to our main event. In the top of the show, I was telling people, I was saying, whoever's listening, that I don't have an issue with Sammy being the TNT Championship. Having the TNT Championship. I have an issue with the way the TNT Championship is being booked. Not because of it being the TNT Championship. People try to tell me like, well, when WCW had it, the championship would go back and forth and blah, blah, blah. Listen, what people keep failing to realize is WCW also had the United States Championship, right? That TVC title was very prestigious. Look at the guys in that lineage who held that TNT Championship, and look what it did for a lot of their careers. A lot of them went on to become world champions, right? With this TNT Championship, you have to remember, in AEW, there's only one other single title, and that's the world title. We see the world title, great runs, prestige is being built. The tag team titles, the same situation. Why would you treat this championship any less than you do the women's title or even the TBS championship, right? There's no reason that if you're going to have Sammy win the championship right back from Scorpio Sky, fine. Well, no. Just don't have Scorpio Sky win it in the first place. Let Sammy defeat Scorpio Sky and end his streak, right? Just Scorpio Sky, what happened is he wins the TNT Championship, and then he ended up losing it. Not only did he lose the championship in horrible fashion, like a quick turnaround, I should say, but he also now loses his undefeated streak that he was holding on to for so long. Only for you to come right back and have Scorpio Sky win the TNT Championship right back from Sammy. If you're trying to build the storyline with Sammy and Scorpio Sky, you could have done it a way better way than this. You could have wrote it in a lot better. Now, for this matchup, I don't understand why you had the matchup you had here. It was overbooked. If overbooking was a thing, this was absolutely overbooked. Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky are some of your best in-ring workers you have in the company. These two can go out there and have a regular matchup and steal the whole show, and it be the main event that you wanted it to be. You could have had them two in a no disqualification match, or maybe people barred from ringside if you're worried about the low blow that Sammy used, or if you're worried about Tay getting interfering in the matchup or anything like that. Hell, you could even put him in a steel cage matchup to keep everybody out the way and just let whoever win. That would have been fine as well. But this ladder match, overbooked, man. You had Tay Conti and Paige Van Zant. They both get involved. I understand you're trying to build something between them two, but hell, Tay Conti is a great in-ring worker. Let her go wrestle. Let her help continue to build that women's division while she also, come down and support her man. Paige, go ahead. Let her have her wrestling matches. I don't care if it's short or whatever. If it's a little basic wrestling match, if you just want to make it a squash match, let it be something so she can build momentum also, while also building this storyline that you're doing with Tay Conti and Paige. Now, we had, for the first time ever, I never seen this anyway, we seen the ladder wrapped up in barbed wire. It was pretty cool, but I feel like it's overused, right? I think it's going to get to the point that all of these gimmicks and weapons that you're using inside of your matchups is just going to become like the norm. It's going to become so tedious that it's not going to end up getting the pops that it used to get, because the fans are just going to be so used to seeing it. Hell, last week we just seen Adam Cole and Hangman Page use the barbed wire in their matchup. They just had a no disqualification in the main event, a Texas death match inside the main event. We don't need to come right back on on Dynamite and do another main event with a ladder match using almost all the same weapons. It makes no sense. These two are just too good. Like, you don't have to overbook it. You don't have to overthink it. Now, I do like the fact that Scorpio Sky did win the title back. Why? Because I think Scorpio Sky is someone that you can give a nice long 3-month, 4-month run to, and he's going to really make that title, put that title up a notch. He's going to, raise it up a peg. And I don't mean hold on to it for 3 or 4 months and he defends it maybe 4 or 5 times. I mean, defend it about 8 or 9 times against some quality opponents. We already know that Frankie Kazarian is next in line. That's going to be an amazing matchup. You have a lot of guys in that mid-range card that he can go against and defend that title against to really help make it relevant and really help put some prestige behind it. The TNT champion is supposed to be the face of your company. At least that's how Cody Rhodes rolled it out. That's how Darby Allin rolled it out. And that's how Scorpio Sky seems to really want to present itself as the face of the company. So if it's the title where the face of the company is going to hold it, you cannot have it just keep changing hands so much. And there's so many great in-ring workers on that mid-card level that will have awesome matchups with Scorpio Sky. And that's my only issue, that, hey, you can do so much better than what you're doing. Until you introduce another singles title, I think you need to really treat that TNT championship like it is your legit number 2 title, because you only have 2. Like, for someone to be jumping to that world title reigns, it would be awesome if they was first a TNT championship. Like, if Miro came out and challenged, it would make sense, because it's like, okay, he had the title, he had a short but dominant run as champion, so why wouldn't he be someone that is qualified to go ahead and challenge for the AEW World title matchup? And that's all I'm saying. You just got too much talent, man. Too much talent in that locker room for you not to be putting on the best matches with that TNT Championship title on the line. But let's go ahead and move over to Rampage. We had another great matchup to start off Rampage. Rampage, I'm right. I had me messed up for a little bit, man. We had Swerve Strickland go against Darby Allin in the Owen Hart Tournament's qualifier matchup. Swerve fell a little bit short. Ricky Starks went ahead and put his nose in Darby Allin and Swerve's business. So now we're going to see that continue with Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee, and Team Taz. And I don't know where that's going to actually end. But Swerve is one of those talents. Keith Lee is one of those talents that I really don't like tied up in this Team Taz storyline. Those are 2 guys that, hell, could be going against Scorpio Sky for that TNT championship. But right now, they cannot miss. Right now, Swerve Strickland has all the momentum behind him. He has the fans behind him. You need to let Swerve really notch together some wins, because he's going to be the one that the fans are rallying for. I think they missed their boat with Jungle Boy. The fans was really behind Jungle Boy. You ended up putting him in the tag team in with Luchasaurus, which he already was, but you let them win the tag team championships, which is fine. But I feel like you missed a boat on Jungle Boy's momentum when he was actually in singles competition. That was a great opportunity for him to go ahead and win a championship, but you didn't roll with that. You did give him a title, but I think you missed the boat on him actually being a singles competitor. And carrying this AEW flagship, because let's face it, he's going to be the future of this company. He's part of some people 4 pillars for AEW. I did that episode last week with Jay Biggs, but I think Jungle Boy is one of those guys who is going to help carry AEW for the next 5 to 10 years. So it would be great to see him put in those spotlight matchups to win those titles, see what he can do, to see how he handles situations. But I think they missed the boat on that. Swerve Strickland, please do not miss the boat on him. The fans love that dude, man. Let's go move on to Jade Cargill and the Baddies go against Nightingale Blue and Trish Adore. This was a matchup I was really looking forward to. I was really looking forward to. And I'm really upset because it was a couple minutes of really competitive action, and then it ended in a flash. I was like, what just happened? Why would you end this matchup that way? I mean, these women are all talented, and it was a great opportunity to really display what they could do, but they just didn't give them enough time. I think they should have definitely gave them enough time before, Jade and the Baddies went ahead and won the matchup. That's a match where I think they got it wrong as far as the spotlight. I feel like that match should have went right before the main event. Speaking of that matchup, it was actually Colton Gunn going against Keith Lee. This is a match where I think they should have flipped it around. I think Keith Lee versus Colton, especially with it being a Colton Gunn first singles matchup, it should have been a squash match. I think Keith Lee should have went out here and maybe 2 or 3 minutes, ended them quickly, run off Austin Gunn, and have that matchup set up for next week or whatever. But the Baddies versus Nightingale, Sky, and Trish Adore should have been in this slot right here, and that matchup should have been a lot longer than what it was. Now, let's get on to our main event. Samoa Joe versus Trent Beretta. Once again, man, it feels like AEW is just having ROH guys go against ROH guys. Trent Beretta, he had a long history in ROH. He's never won a single title, I don't believe, in ROH. Samoa Joe, of course, that's one of his old stomping grounds. And with him being a champion, he went against another guy from ROH. I'm really waiting for, Samoa Joe versus maybe, Wardlow, something like that. Like anybody from a AEW locker room. But nonetheless, this was actually a really good matchup. Even though I didn't think Trent was going to win again, it was a good matchup. And I feel like every time, well, at least lately, that they want to put on a good main event on Rampage, they call on Trent, and Trent, he delivers. I can't knock him for that. He delivers on the matchup, but he came up short against Samoa Joe. Now, after the matchup is where things really got interesting, because we seen Jay Lethal come out, him and Samoa Joe get into it. That looked like it's going to be the next matchup for this ROH championship. Now, if that is the case, once again, it's another ROH guy against an ROH guy, but I would love Jay Lethal to win that title. Only problem being is that Jay Lethal's run in AEW hasn't been spectacular. It really hasn't been great. So for him to be the guy to come and challenge for the ROH title, I understand that, it's history there, but I don't understand what AEW doing. Are we using ROH? Are we using AEW to spotlight ROH's talent while we start to put together ROH's own show? If that's the case, okay, I understand why the matchups are happening like they're happening. But if we are combining ROH and combining AEW together, and it's going to be one locker room, it's going to be pretty much like a one team type thing, then that's where I'm a little bit confused, because if that's the case, you have an opportunity to really put some of your AEW guys in a good spot where they could go against Samoa Joe, some of your great in-ring workers like Wheeler Yuta, your Daniel Garcias, your young guys who can really go, will be in a great spot to, have a feud with Samoa Joe instead of it being Jay Lethal. Now, what I'm really waiting for is the addition of Jonathan Gresham when he gets into the mix. I really want to see what they do with him. I would love to see a matchup with him and Daniel Bryanson. I talked about that many a times before, but that's one that I really would love to get into and really would like to see what's going to happen with that if these two lock it up. All right, but now what we got to get into right here is this WWE WrestleMania Backlash prediction. I meant to do that for the last pay-per-view, but I did not do it. So for this one, let's jump into the prediction. Right now, we got Roman Reigns and the Usos against Drew McIntyre and RK Bro. If all titles are going to be on the line, I could see the Bloodline defeating RKO and Drew McIntyre. If it's just for the tag team championships, I wouldn't be surprised to see Drew McIntyre and RK Bro actually defeat the Bloodlines and have the Usos lose their tag team championships. But if it's a situation where Randy Orton might go ahead and take some time off, them dropping the titles, very understandable. We got Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey in the I Quit matchup. Hate to say it, man, but I could see Ronda Rousey making Charlotte Flair be the one to say I quit. And I'm just not sold on Ronda Rousey as a wrestler yet, man. Her selling is terrible. Like, man, I really want to see Charlotte Flair win this matchup, but I think you got to go with the hot hand. You got to go with the superstar, and you got to give it to Ronda Rousey. Give Charlotte Flair a little bit of time off. Let her come back at SummerSlam and take that championship back. We got Cody Rhodes against Seth Rollins. The right answer here is Cody Rhodes. I think you got to build him up to be the one to go and take that title from Roman Reigns, especially if we're not going to get Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania next year, because that's kind of up in limbo. If you're not going to get it, Cody has to be the one to take that title off. But in the midst, he has to keep that momentum going. He has to keep notching big win after big win. We're going to see AJ Styles versus Edge so far. I think Edge is going to not only win, but I think this is going to be the chance where we see something really form from that faction. I think something really big is going to happen. Maybe we get Finn Balor joining the faction. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think Edge is going to go ahead with that matchup, man. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. I hate to say it, Bobby, but the right answer here is Omos. Continue to build that giant. Now you got a mouthpiece with the giant and MVP. He is fast-tracking to be a champion. I don't know if he's going to be a world champion, especially not with Roman Reigns still hanging around and Cody Rhodes being there right now. But he can definitely go ahead and win that United States Championship and hold that for a long time. I think that would be a good look for him eventually at some point. We get Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. The right answer here is Madcap Moss. You let him win. You finally use that springboard, right, to put Madcap Moss where he's supposed to be anyway. The dude looks like money. He looks like a champion. It's time for him to start beating guys one-on-one, and let's start with Corbin. I don't see why we shouldn't do that. We also got Becky Lynch versus Asuka. This could happen. And if it does happen, I think that we have to go with Asuka, right? We have to go with someone to build that momentum to possibly go against Bianca Belair. I think they're going to slow roll the whole Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair storyline for a little bit, which will be the storyline that I think will carry that women's division for years to come. Kind of like when Rhea Ripley went against Charlotte. That was like a 2-year-long feud that people don't really recall too much. You know, Charlotte and Rhea. Charlotte went to NXT, won that title, feud with Rhea down there. Rhea came to Monday Night Raw. She feuded with Charlotte for that title. Like, that was a really good feud, and it lasted for about 2 years. I think we're going to get the same thing with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley until one of them decides to go, to the other brand. And that's going to be really dope. But in the meantime, we have to build up true contenders for that championship. I think Becky goes on like a little losing streak. I think she kind of go through that phase Seth Rollins went through where he just couldn't win the big matchups and he kind of lost himself. Now he's in this awesome role where he's in this like little, I call it the Joker role because that's what he kind of reminds me of. But he's enjoying himself. He's in a great midst. mix. He's still not winning championships, but he's being very entertaining without even having to have a world title around his waist or any type of gold around his waist. I think Becky Lynch is ready to fall into that same situation. If not, you're gonna possibly have to put Becky Lynch inside of a tag team. I don't know who she would be with right now, who would be a good pairing for her. But I really feel like Asuka, if this matchup happens, Asuka needs to be the one to win, and she should go on to face Bianca Belair eventually at some point. I think that's all we got so far for WrestleMania Backlash. Yep, that's about it. That's all we really got to talk about. So let me know what you guys think. Who are your predictions to win WrestleMania Backlash? What do you guys think about the whole card? I think it's a pretty good card. Really good matchups. A lot of star power. And I like the main event with it being the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. A great blend of missing your Raw superstars with your SmackDown superstars. So I'm not mad at this pay-per-view. Not mad at all. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit me up in the DMs. Once we get 1,000 subscribers, we are really close. We are going to start our giveaway, man. We are going to do a $100 gift card to WWE. Last time I did it for AEW, I believe. I think I did it for AEW last time. So this $100 gift card for WWE shop. You can use that to help, pay down on a championship title. You can get you a couple of t-shirts. You can get you a couple of pops like I got back here. Who knows? Whatever you want, the money's yours. And the way I did it last time, I actually gave away 2 gift cards. So who knows? I might do a little double where you win and you get to choose someone who you want to get the other card to. Don't really know what I'm doing yet. But to enter that contest, you have to be following us at the Wrestling Replay on Instagram. That's going to be the only way for you to enter. That's going to be the only way I'm going to be grabbing the names and tracking them. If you drop a comment under this video or any of my videos, make sure you also add your Instagram account name so I can throw you in the mix and let you know if you want to win or not. I'll do the wheel live so everyone will see. It's a random wheel. It's not prefix or anything like that, so you'll get to see who actually wins. You get to see how close you was to winning. That always sucks. And then the winner will have 3 days to go ahead and claim their prize. They normally claim it within 3 minutes, but 3 days to claim their prize. If you don't, we'll spin the wheel again. We'll take their name out. We'll spin it one more time, and keep going until we'll find a winner. So there will be an actual winner. 1,000 subscribers, $100 giveaway. Please make sure you're following me at the Wrestling Replay on Instagram to join. Make sure you're checking out our post too, man. We're going to have a lot of new content coming up. I think I got a new show that I want to do with Max. He doesn't know yet, but yeah, I think I figured it out. Something that we're going to do. NYG, we're going to figure out this same thing with NYG. He's going to be back on the show as well. So the Wrestling Replay, we got a lot of new things going on for 2022. And if you're in the DMV area and you're going to be at the Baltimore Fest 4, I'm going to be doing another giveaway there. So find me there. Giveaway's yours. That simple. I'm picking 2 people. I'm buying merch from the wrestlers that are participating, whether that's t-shirts, autographs, pictures, or whatever the fan wants. Once you find me, I'm giving about 2. I'm giving away 2. Okay? So whoever finds me first, that's how it's going to be. Just let me know if you guys there. Hit me in the DMs. Let me know if you're going to be there so I can look out for you. Same thing. Take some pictures. It's going to be a great time. It's so many AEW stars going to be there. So many Impact stars are going to be there. I'm looking forward to meeting Tasha Steelz. That's the one person I've been, dying to see live for about 2-3 years now. So it's going to be a really great time. Let me know if you guys are going to be there. But that about does it for me. That was the Wrestling Replay for the week. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next week in wrestling. We got the go-home shows for Monday Night Raw, go-home shows for SmackDown, leading into WrestleMania Backlash. So, going to be good times, man. That about does it all for me. I'm Cato. I'm signing out. Peace.